Precious had spent her life winning. At 38, she was one of the most powerful lawyers in the country. A billionaire by discipline, strategy, and ruthless focus. Judges respected her. Politicians feared her. The media admired her from a careful distance. She lived alone in a gated mansion where silence obeyed her rules. Love had never fit into her schedule. Men were intimidated by her success or obsessed with her money. Relationships never lasted. Somewhere along the line, Precious stopped trying. She told herself she didn't need romance, affection, or late-night conversations. Power was enough. Until she noticed him. His name was Daniel. He was the houseboy newly hired by her estate manager. Quiet, observant, respectful. The kind of man who spoke only when spoken to, yet somehow noticed everything. He moved through the house like he belonged there, his presence calm, steady, grounding. At first, Precious barely acknowledged him. But then she started noticing the details. The way he remembered how she liked her tea without asking. How he adjusted the lights in her study when she worked late, without interrupting her calls. How he never stared, yet somehow always seemed aware of her mood. One evening, Precious came home later than usual. A brutal court session had drained her. She kicked off her heels in the living room and sank into the couch, her head heavy with exhaustion. Daniel appeared quietly, holding a glass of water. "You skipped dinner," he said softly. She looked up, surprised. "How do you know?" "You do that when you're tired." No one had noticed things like that about her in years. "Sit," she said suddenly, surprising herself. He hesitated. "Ma'am?" Just for a moment. He sat at the far edge of the couch, posture careful. The silence between them stretched, thick but not uncomfortable. "What do you think people like me are afraid of?" Precious asked. Daniel didn't answer immediately. Being seen as human. The words hit her harder than any courtroom argument ever had. From that night, something shifted. Their conversations grew longer. Late evenings turned into shared laughter. Sometimes silence said more than words. Precious found herself looking forward to coming home, to the sound of his footsteps, to the calm he brought into her carefully guarded world. She started dressing differently at home. Softer fabrics, loose hair, less armor. Daniel noticed. He always noticed. One night, rain trapped them indoors. Power went out. Candles lit the room, shadows dancing across the walls. Precious stood by the window, watching lightning tear through the sky. "I'm not supposed to feel this," she said quietly. Daniel stood behind her, close enough to feel her warmth, far enough to respect the invisible line between them. "Feel what?" "This." Her voice trembled. "The way my heart reacts when you're near." The air between them snapped. Daniel stepped back. "Precious, this isn't right." She turned to him, eyes burning. "Right according to who? My friends? Society? The world that already decided how my life should look." He swallowed. "I work for you. You see me," she said. "Not my name. Not my money. Me." The kiss happened like an accident neither of them stopped. Slow, hesitant, electric. It was the most dangerous thing Precious had ever done. Their relationship stayed hidden. Late nights. Shared glances. Touches that lingered too long. Precious felt alive in a way she never had before. Daniel became her safe place, her escape from a world that demanded strength but never softness. But secrets never stay buried. Precious's friends were women of power, wealth, and sharp instincts. They noticed changes. Her softer smile. Her sudden disinterest in elite gatherings. Her habit of checking her phone and smiling to herself. One evening, they arrived unannounced. From the balcony, they saw it. Precious standing too close to Daniel. Her hand resting on his arm. The intimacy unmistakable. The silence that followed was brutal. "What is this?" one of them asked later, voice dripping with disbelief. "Tell us you're not sleeping with your houseboy," another said, laughing sharply. Precious didn't flinch. "His name is Daniel." Gasps. Judgment. Whispers. "You're embarrassing yourself. He's using you. You'll ruin everything you built." Precious stood tall, but inside, something cracked. Daniel overheard everything. That night, he packed his bags. "I won't be the reason they tear you apart," he said. "You're the reason I finally feel whole," Precious replied, tears in her eyes. "For someone like you," he said softly, "love comes at a cost." When he left, the house felt emptier than it ever had. Precious returned to her old life. Courtrooms, headlines, applause. But the silence followed her everywhere. Until one day, she did something unexpected. She chose love. In a public interview, Precious spoke openly about loneliness, about power, about falling in love with someone society said was beneath her. The world reacted exactly as expected. Scandal, praise, outrage. But Daniel came back, not as her houseboy, as her partner. Standing beside her, hand in hand, Precious knew she had finally won the only case that ever mattered. The one for her own heart.